welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final game of the night. My name is the Sage One on your play-by-play casting commentary. I got Stretch on that color casting commentary. This is going to be game number 2 of the boosted move versus the viciously voracious Voidlings over on that red side. Now, once again, Stretch, how do you feel after that game?
I feel like anything is possible, and if you try hard enough, you can reach your dreams, dude. No, I feel perfectly fine. I'm excited to see how Boosted Move is looking to adapt to this play style of the viciously voracious Voidlings, especially after the performance that Angel of Night put up in the late game. They need to figure out a way to get to this backline and control that AD carry.
Well, we're going to be seeing that here in this game, but the two bans already coming out after that first game is going to be that Ari over onto the boost move, and over for Voidlings. They got that Lee Sin out of this game.
Yeah, Mr. Jax put down so much pressure coming out of the mid lane, and though some of the plays were a little bit too aggressive and got him into trouble, he really showed that he was very comfortable on that champion, so I respect that ban. Kled and Lee Sin. Actually, let me talk about this Kled real quick, because I play so much Kled, and I have to just jump right into it. I apologize. Kled does an amazing job of controlling top lane and just tying people down. So if you get the Kled on your team and he gets ahead, he's just turret diving, he's bringing the entire team in, and it's absolutely crazy. So I would love to see a Kled in the game. Not going to be this one, though.
Yep, that's going to be getting taken out of the game as well. The Ace showed that Galio is a bannable champion in that last game. Even though I believe he did not win, he still did pack a very big punch once it came to the 1v1 / surviving in those late game style team fights. So he's going to be drawing a ban off of that, as well as that Ashe being targeted for Angel of Night here in this draft.
I don't know if that's the ban. I mean, they can take Angel of Night's Ashe away, but they have to first pick the Jinx as well, because she showed that she was pretty comfortable on that one at the later stages of the game. And not only that, but when you're a marksman player and you get that first taste of, wait, my auto attacks are really good. They're really good. For the next couple of games you play, you're auto attacking like a madman. You're auto attacking too much. Your hands are chafed because you're trying to hold on to your weapon. It's insane. So I feel like if they don't pick up the Jinx here early on in the draft, Angel of Night's just going to be unstoppable again.
28 seconds until the next champion is picked. There's a lot of options that can come out here in this early draft, and as we know, there are a lot of OP picks that are still left up here after the 6 bans have gone by.
Jace, we've seen that one come through. I think the last set Jace went through. Camille still wide open, did a fantastic job, played by Puffin in the last match that we just saw, so that's one option for them. Rumble still wide open, but it's going to actually be, I guess, Xerath.
Yeah, the full minute does go down, and at the final last second, Xerath is locked in for Uttersucker there in the mid lane. I believe it was actually banned away from him in that last draft, so he's gonna finally get that there in the mid lane, and it's a pretty good mid laner right now.
It's interesting because Xerath is a scripter favorite. And if someone who assumes the game is going to be played perfectly from a mechanic standpoint says, this is the champion that I'm going to go for, this is the one, there's got to be something to that champion. And the bottom line is, Xerath's kit removes a lot of counterplay when played correctly. He's off your screen, hitting you, and you can't close the gap. It's impossible to get to this guy. So if Uttersucker is adept on this Xerath, they've got to find champions that can close that gap and get to him.
After that, Xerath was locked in. The other team had a minute to lock in their 2 OP champions. Their prioritization is going to be that Camille in the top lane and the Warwick in the jungle.
Once again, Puffin on the Camille in the top lane. He threw down a huge amount of pressure there against Dr. Dime's Shen, so we'll be able to see what they respond with there on their side of the draft. But Tim Airborne on the Warwick, he actually did fairly well in the last matchup, getting those infinite duresses down. There were a couple of whiffs, there was some that didn't quite connect, but the bottom line is the champion is so resilient at the later stages in the game. When you build correctly and you don't allow yourself to get one-shotted, it becomes very hard to control this champion. So I'm looking for Tim Airborne to do a little bit of a better job of farming up, getting tanky a little bit more quickly, and then looking for the initiates as quickly as possible, because once you're in there, it's hard to get him out of the fight.
After the Camille and Warwick, the blue team's response to counter that is going to be the Kha'Zix and the Nautilus. Both of these champions are very strong. in the mid game.
Not only that, but they offer a lot of utility to their team. At least Nautilus does. And I'm assuming this is going up to the top lane. I think that Dr. Dime is one of those top laners who really likes to play those tanks up there. He doesn't feel like brawling it out with Camille. So Dr. Dime, I'm expecting to pick up this this Nautilus up there, and it gives them more of the engage option that they really needed last match. They needed somebody who could get out there on front and set up the rest of the team comp. And with Kha'Zix on the ace, the ace looks like he was trying to fight people the entirety of the last match. So on this Kha'Zix, I'm looking to see him getting in there, bruising it up.
Mr. Jax is trolling me a little bit. I was getting so hyped when I saw the Zed, when I saw the Aurelion Soul. But locks in the Fizz at the end of the day. I'm not saying that Fizz doesn't get me hyped, but I want to see that Aurelion Soul right now. But, sorry,
I thought you were done. My bad.
Almost. Fizz and Jinx locked in over onto the red side. Now you go ahead.
All right, thanks, dude.
There you go.
And Fizz is the pickup here, honestly. Uttersucker on an immobile champion like Xerath, he can just dance his way right over the stun, no problem, and get in on the enemy champion. It is the pick to go to. So, Mr. Jax, with how aggressive he played that Ahri, I expect this guy to be in the face of Uttersucker for the entirety of the match. Angel of Night gets her Jinx, so I'm looking to see the late game focus once again come through and see if she can't get clean auto attacks down that rip through the enemy team.
The response of Fizz and Jinx, Ezreal and Janna are locked in the bot lane. And if you ask me, that's a very passive style bot lane.
It can be, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing that this bot lane does offer, though, is a lot of poke options.
Right.
With Janna Shield on Ezreal, he becomes very difficult to duel outside of the minion wave, so Jinx is going to be having to position herself in the minion wave to avoid the Mystic shots. Otherwise, Ezreal does insane damage if he can land all the Mystic shots, man. It's actually ridiculous. Not only that, but I think that Ezreal's one of the champions that can actually stand up to Jinx in the late game in terms of not necessarily a teamfight potential, because honestly, the AoE rocket crits with Rudon's Hurricane crits happening at the same time, there's no one who can really compete with that except for like Twitch. So, but when it comes to like these skirmishy fights where people are kiting backwards, you don't have people standing next to each other too much, Ezreal does stupid damage between Muramana, Bork, a little bit of armor penetration on like a Last Whisper item. Like, this guy goes absolutely crazy, and then like a Trinity Force in there somewhere. So if Toddy 2K can get the items under his belt, Jinx is going to have a hard time keeping up with him in skirmish battles, but in full frontal engages, which is Dr. Dime's specialty on this Nautilus, Jinx is going to absolutely tear through this team, especially with the flat damage reduction that comes out of Warwick and the unbreakables coming out of Diamond Zombie on the Braum.
We touched on the blue team's bot lane and we touched on the red team's bot lane individually. But once again, let's change it up a little bit. Let's go lane by lane and see how the matchups go. So in the top lane, Camille versus Nautilus. How does this one play out?
It's all advantage based.
Right.
Got to burp a little bit, sorry. Top lane, you want to get both of your top laners ahead. So I expect both of these junglers to be starting bottom side. I don't expect either of these guys to go for a Wraith or a Raptor start because they just don't clear that AoE camp very easily in the early stages of the game. So I expect them to be going blue and red, path immediately to the top lane, look for a level 2 gank and try to get their top laner ahead. And the first person to get there and the first top laner to have the wave in the correct position, because top lane's very mini wave position reliant, is going to start that lane snowballing. Nautilus actually does fairly well in this matchup as long as he can get the health and get the last hits. But Dr. Dime has shown in the past he struggles in the early stages of the game. If Puffin gets ahead, I feel like Puffin's going to be bolstered just to put additional pressure on this guy.
We touched a lot in the last minute or so on boost and move by going on over to the red team. We got the Voidlings over there, and they drafted a very nice comp themselves as well. Or wait, geez, that's not what we were doing. In the jungle, we got Warwick and Kha'Zix. What the heck? Where was my brain?
Yeah, dude, don't worry about it.
I got so mixed up.
Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. So anyway, Kha'Zix actually does a fantastic job snowballing the game. If he gets ahead, he's so hard to deal with. Warwick, he wants to tank up and look for these turret dive opportunities. Mid lane is the target for this Warwick. Uttersucker can do absolutely nothing if both Tim Airborne and Jax are in the same place at the right time with ultimates up.
In the mid lane as well, we have a poke style champion versus an all-in style champion. How does this one go out?
The name of the game for Jax here is live till 6. Get to level 6, get the fish queued up, and then look to try to blow up Uttersucker to the best of your ability. Once again, with the barrier pickup on Xerath, which I believe is probably the best summer spell he could have in this matchup. With that pickup, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Jax to get in there for the kill, but if Team Airborne's paying attention, man, it's easy for him to slide right in there and do the additional damage needed to close out the kill. So it's all about Uttersucker trying to stay alive past 6 and put pressure pre-6, and then the opposite for Mr. Jack.
Touched on the mid lane, we touched on the jungle, and we touched on the top lane. Only lanes we got left is the bot lane. Quickly, what do these guys need to do?
Janna's got to stay alive. Straight up. Like, if you get queued, sprint away as quickly as possible. Ezreal can't save you because Diamond Zombie and Angel of Night have the stun, and they've got the damage that can execute this champion very easily. Toddy 2K needs to make sure that he's landing consistent mystic shots outside of the minion wave to push these guys back, and then Angel of Night just needs to wait for Diamond Zombie to land the stun. If they can get Jinx to late game, she's gonna be absolutely monstrous.
Yep, we're going to be heading on to the loading screen, ladies and gentlemen, for our final game of the night. Tell me in the chat who exactly you want to win. Go hashtag boost and move for the blue team and hashtag Voidlings for the red. We'll be right back after this loading screen for our final game of the night. But ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Ascension eSports' Dragon League. We'll be right back.
Everyone's watching through your eyes. There's only two options, win or die. Win or die. Win or die. It went from a spark to an open flame. Now destiny's calling out your name. So reply,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our final game of the night. My name is The Saved One on your play-by-play casting commentary. I am joined by Stretch on that color casting commentary. Stretch, how are you feeling after that draft?
It's an interesting draft. I think that the bottom lane of VVV should be having a good time. Two comfort champions for them, but Boosted Move has a lot of explosive potential here.
Yep. The rest of these teams just going for, you know, a normal 5-point start. Nothing too explosive. It's their final game. Not everything is on the line. It's only week number 1, but you know, you don't want to lose a game if you are 1-0 up, or if you are on the losing end, you want to tie it for that 1 point. And how our system works is if you go 2-0 against a certain team, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1. Each team gets 1. And if you lose, you just get 0. That's basically how it goes. But right now, in this game, normal starts from each of these junglers. No junglers can really do the AoE style camps that Raptors does offer. So, normal start from both of these.
I'm expecting fast clears for both of these junglers, basically sprinting up to the top lane as fast as possible. 310, I'm predicting either one or both of these guys is going to arrive in that lane ready to roll, so we'll see when they actually make it there, but top lane, definitely the place with the CC, so that's where they want to be.
Yep. Kha'Zix is gonna be starting in that top side jungle. He's looking towards that bot side of the map, and as well, Warwick is in the blue side jungle, so he's looking towards the top side of the map.
Opposite sides of the map starts here. I fully expected the Ace to be going towards the top side early on to try to support Dr. Dime, but they're not going to do it. Super fast clear from Team Airborne, actually. I did not expect him to nuke that blue buff down so quickly. This might actually give him an early game advantage.
You can do a lot in the mid lane. Mr. Jax is just going to be Eing as well. Just trying to wave clear as best as he humanly can, just to shove in this Xerath in the early game.
Trying to make sure that he maintains that pressure, all for the goal of making sure that he stays alive till 6. Get that ultimate thrown down. Bottom lane, a lot of pressure coming out here. But either way, looks like Angel of Night's just getting the auto attacks down. But I want to talk about this pathing from the junglers a little bit more. Sure. You typically don't want to gank a Janna lane as a jungler. There's just not a lot of CC available for you to really guarantee a closeout of a kill. So you end up only getting pressure down. Whereas if you went top lane here, you could have gone with his Nautilus.
Ooh, in the mid lane, a little bit of scrapping going on there. Uttersucker turns around the trade, lands the Q. Does not have the Ignite available, but Fizz just engaged with his E. And that just doesn't mean good things for him.
No way for him to get back out of that one easily if he uses the Playful Trickster to come in. Still sitting at level 2, so he just doesn't have the Urchin Strike to close that gap initially. And like you were saying, yeah, that's just a disadvantageous trade for him if he's going to be using his E in that way. He's got to use it to get back out.
Kha'Zix is making his way towards that bottom lane, but we all know and love how Braum can disengage a lane so very easily. No real aggression so far. Kha'Zix is coming out of that left bush. Arcane is applying as much pressure as she possibly can. Landed the W, but the slow only lasts for so long as well in the top lane. Puffin is applying a lot of damage there as well. Warwick is looking for a counter engage. Puffin goes in, lands the second part of the Q. And Dr. Dime is looking for that re-engage, but Tim Airborne is right there. The fear connects onto Dr. Dime. Dr. Dime is falling himself very low there, but has to flash away at the end of the day. A flash for flash there in the top lane.
And you hate to see it because right now Dr. Dime is... Actually, no. He's in a position where Puffin can actually freeze this wave out and keep him away from the minions. So if Puffin just keeps control of this minion wave, doesn't get hasty and say, I've got to push this in, because in this scenario as a top laner, you want to keep control of this under your turret. No, it looks like he actually is tactical sweeping, trying to push it towards the enemy. Oh well.
Yeah, if you freeze it, then Dr. Dime cannot go up to the minion wave to do anything of the sort. But he's going to be pushing it, which does mean Dr. Dime does get a little bit more CS, like you were saying. But the CS lead currently in that top lane is going in over onto the favor of that Camille.
It just is a reflection of the amount of lane pressure that Puffin's able to throw down on this Camille. There's not too much trading potential that Dr. Dime has, because once you break through that tough outer crust of Nautilus, you get to the gooey nougat center. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of damage to the gooey nougat center. So Puffin really with all the pressure here.
He's just a gooey mess at that point.
Yeah, man.
He's not looking too good, but they're in the top lane. Again, Dr. Dime is pushing up that top lane just so that maybe he can center out this Camille underneath their tower. But Camille, she can perfectly farm at any point in this lane just because of how much damage she offers. But Warwick is towards this bot side, just warding up for his own team. Sometimes that's all you really need to do as jungler, just ward up your own lanes.
Yeah. Toddy 2K going very aggressive there. I was expecting Angel of Night and Diamond Zombie to maybe put some pressure down, especially with the Warwick in the area, but they decided to back up there. But it's a reflection of what their goals are. Once again, they're really just looking to get Angel of Night to the later stages of the game, and maybe even sacrificing some potential pressure to do so.
Ooh. I was gonna add that junglers nowadays don't really use the lanes to their advantage when they really think of a gank, but right now you see Ace in that top lane, looking for any opportunity that he can. He does know that Dr. Dime's flash is down. No real, I guess, flash opportunities for him, so Ace is just going to be back into base for the time being, but Camille does engage. She has her ultimate available. Ace shows himself out of the bush, but Puffin is looking for maybe a kill onto Dr. Dime. He's also very low there, but the tank in the top lane as well as the bug is just going to be back into base. In the mid lane, though, barrier is popped from Uttersucker. A lot of damage going down onto him. Has to flash away from that. Sums are burned in the mid lane just because Fizz burned that ultimate, but a flash there in the mid lane, flash, as well as that ignite first blood coming out for Fizz in the mid lane.
And that's what I'm talking about. Past level 6, Uttersucker's only job is to try to survive this lane against the Fizz, and Mr. Jax now has all the pressure.
Ooh, in the bot lane, a lot of skirmishing going on there. Angel of Night is auto-attacking as much as she humanly can. Taunty 2K as well, though. Ease into the fight but cannot find enough damage to finally finish it off. Time Airborne and Ace Capsule are finding each other there, but the amount of damage coming out from Kha'Zix here is just way too immense. Jumps on the Warwick and gets a kill for himself. 1 kill for the Kha'Zix. Really just a flash burn from the support in the bot lane. It's looking very nice for the blue team here.
I think Tim Airborne tried to stay near that Krug in order to keep his himself out of the isolation. Yeah, but the bottom line is Krug is still slapping you. So the bonus damage was probably equivalent to that of isolation damage for this stage of the game. So an unfortunate situation from Tim Airborne. With his flash already being down, there was no way for him to escape that battle easily, and he just gets an easy kill pickup for the ace.
You're being auto-attacked by a bug and you're being auto-attacked by a rock. You can't really do anything off of that, dude. So that's going to be a kill going on over to the Kha'Zix there. That does mean that he can start snowballing just that much faster. We usually know that Kha'Zix likes to get a kill in the early game, and he absolutely pops off with that kill going into the later stage of the game.
Chat notifying us that Toddy might actually be pronounced Touty. Or
Touty.
Touty? You know what? I'm trying both on for size. But either way, you were saying that the Kha'Zix with that early kill should be able to scale into the late game very well.
In the mid lane, Chum the Waters did not connect onto the immobile Xerath there. Kha'Zix as well was in the... just over the wall, but Fizz just tried to engage. Couldn't really find an engage on this Kha'Zix, but Dr. Dime as well is trying to peel back this Camille as best as possible. Hextech Ultimatum is popped there in the top lane as well as that depth charge. Can he get out of this one? Stuns the Camille up, the true damage as well. Hook shot off of the wall. Puffin finds a kill there onto the Nautilus.
Yeah, man. There's just so much damage from this Camille. There's not much that Nautilus can really do in that situation, especially with the Hextech Ultimatum negating any sort of escape option that he's got for himself. So fantastic play by Puffin to capitalize on that and pick up that early kill.
We see that Ace Capsule is here in this river looking for more of an advantage. Infinite Duress goes on to hit him, and a lot of healing coming out here. Flash for flash currently, but finds the isolation damage but couldn't finish it off. Angel of Night as well, applying a lot of slows, a lot of auto attacks. Arcane as well, rotating herself towards that mid lane. But wasn't there in time. As well, she goes towards that bottom lane with Utter Sucker. Diamond Zombie finding herself again in another sticky situation. 3 of the ultimates, and that's the true shot barrage, but doesn't kill Diamond Zombie. The Q does not connect. As well, Puffin is in this fight. Taunty is trying to find a kill, but finds one. Can he find the second one? No. But as well, Fizz is coming towards this bot lane. Hawk shot off of the wall. Utter Sucker is forced to pop the barrier, even though she did not, or Puffin did not have her ultimate or his ultimate available to him in the top lane as well. Tim Airborne is just biting through Dr. Dime here. Auto attack after auto attack, scratch after scratch, I mean slow after slow. Chomp presses the Tiamat, and he gets a kill there in the top lane. Currently, just a 2-for-0 trade. Ace died going on over to the side of the red team. They're looking for this dragon as well, but they do know that they don't have any jungle.
Yeah, they started that one up. They wanted to go for it there, but like you said, with Tim Airborne up in the top side of the map, they're not actually going to go for that dragon take. Tim actually might be the one to get the first turret gold, and this is not something you typically see.
Wow.
The jungler just says, you know what, this one's mine this time. I'm just going to get it.
Smack, smack, smack away at the tower. Tim Airborne gets the first blood gold. That's 650 gold at the end of the day. If you get that solo gold, it's a lot of gold going towards your champion. That's basically the point I'm trying to make. But Warwick is going to be fed here in this game off of that. He has 2 kills under his belt, only 1 death. He's 15 CS above this Kha'Zix. So this Warwick is nothing to underestimate. He's going into the enemy jungle and sees where Kha'Zix is.
Right now, Tim Airborne honestly just needs to recall. He's got 2,500 gold in his pocket, and not only can he enhance his jungle clear by buying additional items, but he can just eliminate the threat of throwing.
Arcane Darklaw in the bot lane, finding herself stunned up there. Super Mega Death Rocket connects, but onto the wrong person. Arcane is just suiciding into the enemy team, but as well, Mr. Jax is finding himself there in that bot lane. Tati2K is being knocked up all around there. Angel of Night picks up one. Fizz picks up another one. 11 minutes in this game, and the red team is expanding their lead. Bot lane, top lane, and every so lane possible. Puffin picks up that buff for himself.
The what is the thing? Why can't I remember what the name of that buff is, man?
Right? That's why
I just blanked. Yeah, Rift Herald. The Rift Herald buff means that he's going to have even more dominance over Dr. Dime in the top lane. He already was doing a fantastic job in that dueling lane, but it allows him it allows him to keep a little bit more of his life in that trade now. It also gives him additional threat on these turrets. The one thing that it does give you is that on-hit proc every so often, every couple of auto attacks. So it's very nice if you were on a split push champion. Once again, Puffin with the threat in the top lane, gonna make use of it. Hopefully.
Fizz is over this wall, does not have Chum the Waters, but has Flash available if he wanted to go in for a trade. Just draws a pink ward down, is going to be clearing out any of the vision possible as well. Warwick is over the bottom of that blue buff, but the rest of this blue team is looking towards this bottom lane where there are many objectives in it.
Bottom lane under a lot of pressure here. They've also got the Windrake up available to them if they want to go for that one there. And the Windrake, once again, Tim Airborne on the Warwick. He's going to love to have that thing under his belt because it gives him the ultimate range.
Utter Sucker flashes away from the infinite duress, just that much closer from getting stunned up there. Ace Capsule jumps over the wall onto Tim Airborne. That's going to be the fear as well. Getting popped, the bite, chomp down, does not matter. Utter Sucker picks himself up a kill on that Warwick.
It's a unfortunate situation for Tim Airborne. I noticed that he actually didn't opt to get his boots, which means that he's going to have a harder time closing these gaps for this gank, and it also means he's more susceptible to these catchers as well. You don't have any escape options when you lower your movement speed like that. So it's a hard time for him in that scenario, but it does give a little bit of his lead back to the enemy team. Boosted move might be able to find themselves a window if they keep getting gold to the ace on this Kha'Zix.
Yeah, in the bot lane though, Puffin is finding an opportunity onto Utter Sucker. That's going to be the ultimate coming out from the Camille, but is exhausted there for the time being. A lot of damage being brought down onto her. Puffin is being brought very low, as well as the depth charge being knocked onto two people. Fizzy finding himself not Fizzy. Fizz is finding himself one kill. Dr. Dime as well. Shot after shot. A triple kill going on over to this Fizz, as well as the shot after shot coming out from Ezreal on the side. And Fizz says, you want to cue me? I'm going to come and I'm going to try in one shot. You just like that. He got one kill, but that's Ace picking up the shutdown onto him. Currently, a 4-for-2 trade going on over the side of the red team.
And Mr. Jax whips around and says, don't you dare look at me like that, and just kills him straight up. So very aggressive play coming out of him. And we knew it was coming. We saw it last game on the Ari. Juicy Fruits get popped, and they're going to heal back up. Diamond Zombie, but I want to talk about that fight in the jungle just quickly here. Ultimate was thrown down by Tati2K, and the thing is it just went straight into the wall. It went straight into Diamond Zombie. She negated so much of the team's damage there, and Angel of Night was so protected that I think she was sitting on full life for the entirety of that battle, and that's exactly what you want to see out of a bot lane support, especially when you're supporting one of these hyper carries who doesn't have a lot of mobility, because the higher life they are, the more auto attacks you're going to get out of them in these team fights. So fantastic play once again coming with Diamond Zombie.
Nice dodge, bob and weave there in the mid lane. Ignite goes down, does not even need his ultimate. Mr. Jax on this Fizz is absolutely popping off here in this game.
And they've got to get him under wraps pretty quickly here, because the one-shot kill that is happening on the Xerath will extend to everyone else on the map right now. Dr. Dime doesn't have any magic resist. He's not getting it soon either, because he's got to finish off the Sunfire Cape, and he's is still roughly 200 gold away from finishing even that item. The jungler's an assassin. Bottom lane is 2 more squishies, so the more gold that Mr. Jax can get under his belt, the more effective he's going to be across the board overall, as is on every other champion. I'm not saying anything new here, but it means that it's even more potent because of the Fizz pick.
Hextech ultimatum gets popped there in the bot lane, as well as that ultimate coming out from Janna, but that's just That's just gonna be a dead Ezreal there in
my
that
goodness.
bot lane. Mr. Jax is doing a lot there. Arcane Dark Claw, no, she flashes out. As well as Ace Capsule is there in that bot lane, coming for that support. But you see two members of this red team just pounding away at this top lane tower. 17 minutes into the game, 2 towers to 0 for the time being. 2 of these top lane towers have died here in this game, and so many more are still available for this team to take. They're just opting to go for the free stuff.
I love this rotational play coming
Me
out
too.
of VVV here. A lot of the things that, or a lot of the time, what I like to see out of teams is bottom lane, outer turret goes down, and instead of throwing your team into the mid lane and trying to get that, send the duo to the top lane. It's so hard for a top laner to handle a 2v1, especially when it's a duo that's ahead like they are. So it's fantastic to see them go a top lane and say, you know what, top lane outer is already gone. Let's just get the inner. It's super easy anyway. And there's no dragon available, so they're free to do so.
Top lane, tier 2 and tier 1 dies, which does mean the pressure is going to be rotated across the map. Bot lane, tier 1 dies. The only one that is really left here in this game is that tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
And honestly, I'm not even sure if I would go for the tier 1 tower. I mean, I guess you can, because Mr. Jax is so ridiculously fit, and all you have to do is fish Uttersucker, and there's nothing you can say or do about him dying there, so... you can just fish Uttersucker and then continue to go for this thing. So we'll see what they end up doing. What is this?
Dr. Dime looking for a hook, looking for a fish, but only finds a minion. He finds a boot when he casts his rod into the river is what I'm trying to say. He finds himself in a very weird position, but got himself out of that situation very easily with that pressure support from that Xerath there in the mid lane. Rest of this blue team is looking for anything and everything to defend here in this game. The rest of the red team is coming towards this mid lane to maybe try and get a pick onto the 2 squishy members. As Chum the Waters is going to be connected onto the 1 member, as well as Dr. Dime finds that death charge onto Jinx. Jinx is rocket after rocket there in the mid lane, as well as that ultimate arcane, right of the arcane coming out there, as well as that redemption onto one person, infinite duress onto Taunty. Heal comes out, but does not matter. Mr. Jax is tanking whatever he can, shot after shot. This Jinx is unstoppable.
And that's what I was talking about in Champ Select. Once a marksman player gets a taste for blood, the next game they go into where they got another advantage, they're just like, I'm just gonna kill everyone. Like I'm just gonna shoot a lot.
Exhaust being dropped just because of the presence of Fizz. But that's Camille coming in from the backline. Monsoon as well connects. Hex Tech ultimatum as well as the Warwick. Just an absolute massacre coming out from this red team here in this game. They've drafted correctly, and you're starting to see the action from this team take place.
And they're learning. This is actually increasingly interesting because this is a team that's learning. Wait, we can just punish. We can just punish straight up. We can just punish these guys for being behind, and unless they get picks or find a way back into the game, we're just gonna continue to dive these guys and do pretty much whatever we want with them. So I'm looking to see these guys pop off this entire season if they can continue the sort of playoff. But based on what I'm seeing so far in this matchup, it's gonna be a hard pressed comeback for Boosted Move.
This team's doing a very good job of expanding their lead into the different lanes, like you were saying. 52 seconds until the next dragon spawns. Batanti's finding himself in a very weird position. Auto attacking that mid lane tower and is getting so very much tilted. There you go. Fizz gets a kill there in the mid lane, making him 12-1-1.
You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. Like when the 80 carry turns around and says, you know what? You got me.
I'm done.
You get me.
After that one, you should see the surrender votes coming out.
I mean, maybe, but
open mid.
It's hard to come back in this game, dude. It's real difficult. Right now, Jinx is up in gold by roughly 1.5k. The Fizz is legendary. There's nothing that he can do. Oh my goodness.
Meal over the wall.
Arcane Dark Law can
well.
get 2-shot. Oh
Didn't
man.
hit Chum of the Water.
They can Baron anytime, to be fully honest with you. Like, there's nothing stopping them from just Baroning.
Basically.
Wait,
when you're 20-5 at this point of the game and you're 10k ahead of 20 minutes in, there's nothing stopping you from doing anything.
Oh man.
Warwick as well. Just going towards this dragon. The rest of the blue team, it looks like they've given up, but the Nautilus is still persisting there in the top lane. He's like, I don't care that I died 4 times. I'm still gonna push this top lane. I don't care. I'm pushing my lead.
Yeah. Wait, you say you're pushing his lead?
Wait, he's 1-0.
Yeah, he's 0-4. There's no, that's not a lead.
There's no lead.
There's no lead. He's trying to get himself back into the game, which is the right mindset, right? You
Right,
need to find gold, but the bottom line is your mid lane is just getting pushed in. Angel of Night has been bolstered by the last game, and there's no way that you're going to stop her from auto-attacking here. He's about to die for the 5th time. This is
Nautilus pushes his lead way too far there in the top lane. Puffin finds that chop in the slap. There you go. That's a dead Nautilus. 0-5-0. Sorry, bud.
Unlucky, dude. Like I said before, it seems
Time
like
airborne.
Dr. Dime. Dr. Dime's an unfortunate top laner, man. Wait, they can win this battle.
Maybe, but in the mid lane, he can't definitely win that battle. Jax gets a kill as well. Time airborne. Chomp, 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 but that's the isolation damage coming out from Kha'Zix there. Can they win? Can they get the comeback? Going through all of the minds of the blue team. Definitely not the Ezreal, but maybe the Nautilus, dude. Maybe he's still persistent.
Oh, wait, oh, no, okay, he was just buying something. He was standing there for so long, I was like, wait, is he AFK?
I'm AFK.
It's just... I mean, it's nothing to laugh at. This is serious business, but at the same time,
Right.
It's a little funny. You know, it's a little.
It's so funny, dude. If you can make a joke out of it and entertain the people at home, that's all that really matters.
You know what?
People at home.
At the bottom, I guess at the end of the day, the reason we are here is for the entertainment value. So I guess that makes sense.
There you go. Dr. Dime almost finding a hook, but finds a hook onto the wall. It's his best friend at this point. He's going to be pushing his lead towards that top lane when he's 100 CS up on this Camille. But the rest of this blue team, I'm so sorry. The rest of this blue team is trying to find any pick that they can possible, but it's not coming up here.
I have no clue how they're gonna find that pick either. Because like,
No.
if they think that they're gonna find a pick and then it's just Mr. Jax, it's like, oh wait, he just one shots everyone. Oh well.
Yeah, that's the Hextech ultimatum gonna be casted as well as right to the Arcane. Kane forcing Camille out of the fight for the time being. Taunty finding himself way too far up in the fight. A flash to follow up. Angel of Night finds one. Depth charge finds his way onto the Camille there at the beginning of that fight. 4 members of this blue team are hugging this one bush. Is to try and defend and maybe get a pick there. Warwick isn't even needed for the time being, pushing his lead towards that top side as well. Ace Cap, Soul, and Dr. Dime are right over that wall, and Time Airborne dives that one tower. But you have 3 members in the mid lane pushing this tower with the Jinx. This tower is going to be going down in a matter of seconds. Dr. Dime as well is finding himself in just the wrong area and the wrong time as well. Ace Cap, Soul jumps over the wall only to find a Zong is up. This surrender coming out from this blue team. It's only expected just a little bit 4 minutes late, but 23-6, 24 minutes into this game, 44k to 32k. That was an interesting game coming out from the Voidlings. They did really good there. They closed it out. It's exactly what we want to see out of our players.
Yeah, man. They learned the art of the punish, and it was the enabler. There was Mr. Jackson, the mid lane man. Level 6 hit. He got the 1 kill on Utter Sucker, and he said, "Well, he brushed his hands off on his pants. He said it was unfortunate that you died there, my friend, but it's gonna have to happen every 90 seconds or so." And then he just went absolutely crazy in the mid lane, putting the Xerath in the dirt super hard, and that's what happens when you pick that Xerath, man. You gotta have the Fizz ban, otherwise, actually, you need so many bans. Now that I think about it, now that I think about it, you need so many bans because, like, I think you lose to Talon at 6, you lose to Zed at 6, you lose to Fizz at 6,
you lose to Annie at 6. I'm an Annie one trick to that. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. So I guess you lose. Like, there's so many bands but there's so many relevant bands too, because like Talon's he's pretty popular. Zed's pretty popular. Fizz pretty popular. Like, it's a hard one to pick in the mid lane. But either way, Mr. Jax just enabling his team for an easy win there.
There is no counterplay. But here on a beautiful Friday night at 11 o'clock for me, 11 o'clock for Stretch, and maybe another time for you guys. This has been Ascension eSports' Dragon League week number 1. This is going to be a very exciting season, guys. We got a lot of casters casting these games. We have high-level casters casting these games. I should say that. I love these other guys that I'm working with. I love all of the mods here at Ascension eSports. Stretch, you got any final words to say before we close it off?
You know what? It's always a pleasure to cast these games, and the one thing I will say is follow me on Twitter. You can find me
Follow
at
me on
Stretch.
Twitch.
Yeah, I'm at Stretchback, and you can follow me at Twitch /lolstretch. Other than that, dude,
I'm linking my Twitter. I don't care.
there you go, dude.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me finish this off.
Oh wait, you
with
actually
an out.
linked your Twitter? You cheater! I'm linking my
Dude.
Twitter too.
Yeah, no one follows you if you just say. You just gotta do it. You gotta say follow me. You do it. But if you guys want any more updates on when we do cast, Stretch usually announces it and I just retweet them. But thank you ladies and gentlemen for showing up to week number 1. We have a lot more weeks coming into the future of just very explosive style games. Tomorrow we have the Elder League that is again being casted by me and Stretch as well. We're going to be doing 4 games tomorrow night, so you guys should stick around for that. Is that it? Oh, on Sunday we got our Phoenix League that's going to be casted by Frosty B and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's another one of the main casters here, and he's really cool and he's really awesome just to watch on his color casting or play-by-play. I can't remember, but thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night, but farewell for now.
Math, what? Hey, get him. Mr. F, what? Math, huh? Hey, get him. Mr. F, what? Math, huh? Hey, get him. Mr. F, what? Math, huh? Hey, yeah. Mr. F, huh? Math, what? Hey, get him. I don't think they ready for this one.